Welcome into this week's episode of Inside the Charge. I'm Maddy Glab. In this week's podcast, we have one of our wide receivers joining us, Khalil Shakir. Shakir talks all about what he's learned in his 4 years in the league. He dives into his incredible catch percentage, which leads the NFL since 2023, why he is so good at catching the football and staying up, his contact balance. There's a funny story that goes along with that answer. Khalil Shakir also talks about why he loves listening to musical soundtracks during his pregame warm-ups and how that helps get him in the mood for Sundays. Shakir also dives into his love for dogs and how he's done some pet adoptions here with the Bills and why he would love to have 15 dogs at home. We also talk about the wide receiver room, all the personalities that are a part of it. It's a great episode. Khalil also talks about his military background and how he moved all around as a kid and how that's helped him in the NFL. You don't want to miss it. Enjoy the episode. Khalil, thanks for coming on to hang out and talk some ball with me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You're in your 4th NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you grown the most?
I would just say with just learning the game. Like, I think when you first get into the league, you're adjusting to the speed of the game and just a higher level of thinking. You know, I think in college you're in a 18 to 22, 23 range, and you go into the league and you know, you're playing against grown men, you know. So I think at first that's the biggest adjustment is not only growing physically but mentally as well. So I think that's where I've kind of grown as the years have went on.
Having a better understanding of the game, is there an area of the game where you feel like you have it mastered at this point in your career?
Yeah, I would say I just the feel for the game, I'd say, and that's something that I feel like only comes with, you know, getting the reps in every single day. So I think like I said, over the years, just, you know, figuring out the speed of the game and has allowed me to, you know, help myself, you know, get open more with just overall feel.
Speaking of feel, you have incredible contact balance. Defenders try to take you down. You stay on your feet. Where does that come from?
Well, the trainers would say I have short tibias.
Short tibias?
Yeah, so I guess I'm built a little funny.
How so?
Yeah, I guess my femur is longer than my tibias, and I guess by a decent amount. So I guess they say somehow maybe that can help with that. But I always just say I grew up playing running back my whole life. Like I played running back up until I believe my sophomore year of high school, and also with, you know, footwork as well. I was huge on soccer growing up, and I just think kind of all those things, you know, lead to now and being able to do what I do.
So playing running back, growing up, playing soccer as well, you feel like you just have a better feel for slipping through defenders and open zones to where you can get those yak yards that you're known for?
Yeah, I think all that helps. Mm-hmm. And then also, I mean, my dad was a Marine for 24 years, and just, you know, the daily, he was my first coach. And growing up around Marines and being coached by Marines and the hardcore level of training at such a young age, and then seeing them do their thing and their training, I think kind of just, you know, helped me build a certain mentality as well. Your
dad was a Marine. What's the hardest core thing you had to do growing up?
It's funny, the main thing I think of with punishment was wall sits. And I think, you know, instead of I guess all around was when stuff didn't go well, whether school or you know, football, messed up on a drill or whatever, he would have us do wall sits, you know, and I think that's something that was definitely one of the hardest. I mean, now, I think I was like 9 years old. So then it's like a 30-second wall sit may feel like, you know, 20 minutes.
Right.
So I think I would hope that I would do a lot better at it now, but in the moment, as a young kid, it was the worst thing ever.
I was going to say, is there a Khalil Shakir wall sit record?
No. Once he stopped doing the wall sits as punishment for whatever, I stopped doing them. So that was it there.
Don't ask Khalil Shakir to do a wall
No,
sit ever.
never. No.
Not gonna do it.
Unlocking memories.
Well, speaking of that military background, you moved a lot as a kid, so you had to adapt to different lifestyles, different environments. The NFL is all about adapting as well. Your role is different every single season.
Right.
How does that military background and moving around help you in the NFL today?
Yeah, I think, like you said, at a young age, I moved around. I was born in Virginia, moved to Hawaii, Hawaii to California, California to Japan, Japan back to California. And doing that at such a young age and having to, be at different schools and, make new friends and just adjust in that way. In the moment, I didn't realize how much it would help me now with just, like you mentioned, just the, different plays each week, playing in different cities each week, like whatever it is, all those little things that, I kind of got to experience as a kid, I think just naturally helps me now.
Is there a favorite place that you lived when you were growing up?
Yeah, probably Japan. Japan was really cool. I remember a decent amount of it.
How many years were you there for?
5, 6.
5.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I was younger, so I don't remember like everything, but I just remember it was so fun, such a good time.
What do you miss most about Japan?
Probably I would say just the sporting events.
Yeah.
Like for soccer, we would go and we'd play on our American bases, but then a lot of like the Japanese teams will come on base and we'll have like tournaments and stuff like that.
That's
and
cool.
They were really good, but I think it was dope to experience that.
Do you want to plan a trip back to Japan at some point in your life?
Yeah, me and wifey are thinking about. We try and do a trip every year. I think we're gonna do Austria next because her family's there. But Japan was supposed to be this off season, but I don't know why we kind of put that one on hold. But I think that'll be a next off season thing. Yeah.
Going back to your role in this offense, since 2023, you lead the NFL with a 79% catch rate. What training has allowed you to have that type of level?
I do. Well, I haven't done it as of late, but I started probably a couple years ago doing like 100 catches a day with Sailor, with my wife. She would just throw me the ball, and I think that helped a lot. I do a lot of work with one of our coaches, DJ, before, after practice. I think it's just like the consistency of getting out there and doing the reps and the repetition of it all, and catching in different ways, different angles, and all that stuff. And like I said, repping that stuff over and over and over again. I definitely think that's helped me.
Sailor is your quarterback.
Yeah,
How's her arm?
Oh, it was bad at first, but then she's gotten a lot better.
Let's go.
Yeah. So she's doing better now. I mean, now she's 31 weeks pregnant, so we've kind of put that on hold a little bit.
She's in her off season.
Yeah,
right now.
right. But before, she was slinging it around for sure.
Repetition is something that is so simple. You can do it anywhere. Why has it had such a big factor on your play in game?
I just think the more you just do things, like I think it's hard to, the day of, whether it's a game day or, whatever it is, and you try something that maybe you haven't done before, or think of something in the moment, like odds are probably against you in that matter. And I think the repetition of everything, like seeing the same things over and over and over again, doing the same things over and over and over again, kind of like puts that image in your head to be ready for whatever when that moment comes. So of course it's repetition, but it's how you do it as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something that I've tried to focus on over the past couple of years.
You have to be mentally strong, though, to catch 100 passes a day. That's something that's easy to be like, I don't feel like doing this today. What has allowed you to be so mentally strong?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been all just on, an upward angle for me. Of course, like you said, there's days where you're just laying down and it's tough, and I'm not perfect. There's days where, it's like, I'm not going to do it today. But I think when you think of your end goal, and for me, like, to be ready to roll on game day, I have to make sure I cover every single angle throughout the week. So it's, all those catches. If I, do one less catch than normal, like, maybe I don't feel as prepared come game day, So I think of how I want to perform on game day, and that kind of, lights the fire.
Speaking of being ready for game day, I hear you're a show tunes guy when it comes to what you have to listen to pregame.
Yeah.
What's in the headphones, Khalil?
A whole bunch of stuff. It's funny. I think it's there's not much rap music on it, and that usually blows people's minds. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Wicked.
So you're defying gravity on the field.
That's my favorite actually. And then me and my wife watched. I don't know if it's like the live Lion King, if that's what they call it, whatever. But yeah, the latest Lion King or whatever. And there's a song on there. I got that on there. What else is on there? Oh, Matilda. There's a couple songs on there that I got on my playlist, and then a lot of house music as well.
Okay.
And then maybe 3 to 4 to 5 rap songs. Yeah.
Listening to show tunes, how does that get you into the right mindset?
Honestly, I think I believe there's a thing as like being like almost too like locked in, you know, like for me, I like to just feel like free. I'm having fun. Like I'm not, you know, as crazy as it sounds, like taking it too serious, you know, like, and I think in those moments where, you know, I really start to, you know, think too much, you know, my heart gets going and, you know, I'm a little jittery. And I think that type of music just kind of keeps me calm and keeps me at peace. So, and I just think of all the funny moments, like Wicked would have never happened if, you know, me and my wife went to New York City and she was like, let's go watch Wicked on Broadway. And I was like, no. And then she was like, come on, like, let's go. And I was totally against it. And then went and I was locked in the whole time. And she was like, I actually ended up enjoying it. And I think the reason for having those tunes on my playlist, like, there's a story to it as well that kind of unlocks a memory that makes me just relax in the moment.
It's music like that that brings you back to a memory and reminds you that you're playing a kid's game and it should be a lot of fun out there.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is always remembering, like, this is a game that, you know, most of us grew up playing and loved to play. And I remember backyard football as kids with your friends and, you know, my siblings and how fun it was. And just reminding myself that, you know, to have fun out there.
Who's your favorite character in Wicked?
Oh, God. I'm blanking here. Probably the witch.
The witch?
What's her name? Yeah. Is it Elfie? Yeah. Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I just think it's...
Did you watch the movie when it came out?
Yeah, I watched the movie, and then...
What were your thoughts?
Really good. I didn't realize when it ended that they were going to come out with a second one, because obviously when you watch on Broadway, they have like different parts and they take breaks and stuff. So when it ended, I was like, well, where's the next part? And then my wife was like, they're coming out. I think it's next month they're coming out with it. So we're ready for that.
The wide receiver room is full of personalities, Khalil. You have Keon Coleman, who doesn't stop talking. You have Josh Palmer, who's a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
What are the personalities in that room?
It's funny. I think it's such a fun environment. Like you said, we just have a whole bunch of different personalities that mesh so well together. You know, Curtis, you know, loves to joke around and have fun. Palmer's a little quiet, but he'll also get in on the conversations too. You have E, who's a very chill soul, like an old soul. And then obviously Gabe, who's probably one of the funniest human beings I've ever met in my life, who just kind of brings that, like, just the laughter to the room. Steve, very chill, but also like a big conspiracy guy, you know?
Ooh.
Like, so it's just like you have all these different personalities that, like, each personality just brings a different element to the room in regards to just how everybody views life. And none of us are, you know, this is the right way and that's the right way. And I think that's why we all mesh together so well.
Where do you fit in that room? Are you
I'm
along
probably
for the
just
ride?
laughing the whole time because it's funny, man. The guys are hilarious. And also, I think the conspiracy stuff I'm not big into. That's usually a main topic. That's, you know, I'm just like mind blown by it all. So yeah, most of the time I'm sitting back there, they're laughing, and that's probably, you know, 70-80% of the time.
Who's cracking the most jokes?
Gabe, for sure.
Gabe?
Yeah, he loves to joke around. It's funny though. It's like everybody loves to, you know, have that laughter and to mess around, but also knows, you know, when to lock in. You know, it's like, all right, cool, we got to get through this install today, and, you know, everybody locks in, and then once we're through and done that, and everybody has a full understanding of that, then it's like, boom, all right, now we can, you know, have fun with it, you know, and stuff like that. So there's a good balance in there.
Who locks in the quickest?
be messed up if I said myself. So
You could. I mean, I thought about you.
I'm probably gonna say Palmer.
Palmer locks in the
Yeah.
quickest. Who's leading the huddle? Who's the guy firing up the wide receiver room?
We do a little before the game. We have a little huddle, and I usually just say a little spiel, and then throughout the week in practice.
Let's go.
Yeah, we kind of mix it up throughout the week, though. We huddle up before we do routes on air with the quarterbacks, and that's really open to anybody saying stuff. I'll usually say something, and then after practice we huddle up again, and that's usually I like to base it off of who really balled out that day in practice, so everybody kind of gets a piece of that.
This offseason you talked about taking over a bigger leadership role because you're one of the guys who's been in that room for the longest. How has that come along for you?
I think it's going well. I think I've been trying to be a bit more vocal. A lot of times I can kind of just be tunnel vision and trying to do what I have to do to get myself ready. But I think a big step in that is becoming more vocal and speaking up and like we were just talking about, getting the guys fired up. So I've been trying my best to form what that looks like, and so far I think we're heading in the right direction.
Did you look up to anybody when it came to leadership and being more vocal, whether it be on this team or outside of the Bills?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys. I mean, that list for me goes on and on. You have D-Doc, who's just a huge personality and is really focused on getting the job done every single day. You have Josh, who is in my eyes probably the best leader I've ever been around. I've always said if he didn't give me an explanation for anything and said let's go to war, I'd be no questions asked.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's like to me as good as it gets as far as leadership. And then even Gabe Davis, I think just the way he handles business, like we were just talking about, he's able to have fun but also knows when it's time to lock in and focus on what we got to get done. And I think that balance, the balance that he's able to have within that, has taught me a lot as well. And even Steph, his competitiveness and just how he handles his business, I look up to him as well. So like I said, that list goes on and on and on.
You spoke about your quarterback, Josh Allen, one of the best arms in the NFL, whether it be skill set wise or off the field. What are you most in awe of?
I think just his ability to just have fun every single day. Like when you're when the MVP of the league and in my eyes the best player in the league, I think the way he comes in here with a smile on his face, I think it's the coolest thing ever. Like I said, I feel like a lot of times you can get caught up in just trying to, be so on it every single time. And when your leader comes in and understands that, yes, we're going to get the job done, but also reminds us, to smile and have fun, I think it's the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, just his ability to, keep us locked in when we need to be, but also having fun.
Speaking of having fun, our social media team likes to have fun with you specifically, Khalil.
Yeah.
There's videos that go out, and they do you dirty in some of them. This is your floor to say whatever you want to say about that.
I honestly feel like it's kind of my fault a little bit. I would come in to your guys' office over there and say, are we working today or what? And I feel like maybe that could have something to do with it. But also, I think it's all funny. Like, a lot of times, like, people are like, oh, did they really do that? And I think it's jokes. I mean, I'm somebody that's very comfortable with who I am, and I think it's the funniest thing ever to see them having fun with it. And I never take anything really too serious. So it's cool. I deal with it. It's funny. I don't have any issues, So, yeah.
I think my favorite one was the Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, that was the main one. I think that was the one that started it. And I got the most crap for that.
You had guys coming up to you and like, oh,
yeah.
Khalil, what the heck, man?
100%. Again, I thought it was hilarious. But what I didn't like about it was the fact that it was like, when you post the reel, you can like pick the.
And they chose that.
Yeah, and so of course when you're scrolling, you're like, what is that? I'm like, you could have left that one out. Just it being in the video is fine. But yeah, it's all fun and games.
Do you have any ideas for them for future videos, how you would like to be portrayed in a different way?
Yeah, maybe one day instead of put me in a dress, like they can make me look like the Hulk or
you
something.
You could be like Goliath.
Come on, like, all right, cool, you did that, now do this for me.
It's literally the least you could ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see though. They're super creative. I honestly have no idea how they do it every single day. It's funny.
It is funny. They cook up some hilarious stuff. Khalil, you have two pups, Penny and Missy. What can a dog do that nobody else can?
The ability to just be happy
Yeah.
every single day, every single second, no matter if it's raining outside, no matter what. I feel like a lot of times, humans, we can be affected by the weather or whatever it is. Like, dogs don't care. Like, they don't care. Whenever I walk into the house every single day, I'm greeted the same exact way. They're running, barking, jumping, wagging their tails. First thing, I'm woken up every single morning by both of them almost jumping on me. It's almost like I don't even really need an alarm clock. And they're just happy. They're happy to see me every single day, and I think it's the best thing ever. So, not to say some people can't do that, but I think dogs just have that ability to just brighten up your day no matter what.
Since you have two, is one like your dog? One is Sailor's dog? Does one
Yeah.
like each person more?
Yeah, I think Penny is definitely more connected to me, and then Missy's definitely more connected to Sailor, which is funny because I got Penny for Sailor my rookie year going into training camp because I was going to be away. I was like, here's little
That's
buddy.
sweet. That's sweet.
And then she ended up, whenever I would leave the house, she would sit at the door and just cry.
Oh.
And then, so, yeah, that became my little buddy, and she's great.
You've held a bunch of pet adoptions. Every year you have a big event. What inspired you to do something like that?
Missy, when we got Missy from an adoption event randomly on a random Saturday, we went because we saw a video of Brandon Bean talking about this adoption event, and we were just like, looked at Sailor, and I was like, why not? Like, let's just go stop by. Thing that I've learned now about going to adoption events and hosting them as well is you have to put into your brain and say it to yourself 1,000 times that you're not going to get a dog. If you go in with the slightest bit of like, maybe, you're going to leave with a dog. So that day, we didn't really think anything of it. Walked in, and Missy's just kind of laying down in the corner. And I picked her up like 3-4 times and kept putting her back down, and then looked at Sailor and was like, would you be mad? And she was like, I wouldn't be mad, but, we don't need another dog. Ended up leaving, keeping center with her, like literally put her in the car there and left. And, man, she's been one of the biggest blessings ever. Like, Sailor only grew up with golden retrievers. I had a boxer when I was young, and we've never, the idea of rescuing, we just never really thought about it. And how sweet that dog is. It's almost like she's just grateful, and like going to these events too. The dogs, like once you start petting them, like they're just like the smile on their faces and how happy they are. They just want to be loved, So I think in doing and seeing how Missy has, just lit up our household, we just want to create as many opportunities for families to have that as well.
In a perfect world, how many dogs would you have?
Me personally, I picture this, right? I picture in 10 years.
Okay.
I picture opening up my sliding door and I just have a couple acres fenced in, and there's like at least 10 to 15 dogs just running around.
I love it.
Now, when Sailor hears this, she's going to say heck no and doesn't like that idea, but it's just like a weird image I've had in my head.
I love that. Dogs also have fun personalities. What are the weirdest things that your dogs do?
Missy does this little scrunch face, and it's usually one before she has to get in the bath. She hates the bathtub. So she'll go hide under my clothes, and if you find her, she's like scrunching her nose, ears peeled back, and then also when she does something she's not supposed to do. So like she'll go and chew up a sock, and then she'll come down and like tell on herself. Like she'll come downstairs and she goes to the ground and she's like wagging her tail. And I just think it's like a weird scrunch face she does. She also, I think she tries to like talk. Like she makes the weirdest sounds ever when she's...
What word does she come closest to?
I don't know, but I would assume it's probably not a good word because it's usually when Penny is playing with one of the toys and she wants the toy and she'll just like start screaming at her. It's not a bark, it's literally like a scream.
Oh my gosh.
So that's definitely probably the weirdest thing.
You have a baby on the way. What's the best advice you've gotten so far from teammates, from friends?
Get your sleep now. I heard a lot of. And also it's, I think the best thing is everybody is like not overbearing with advice as well. Like everybody's like journey is so different. You can sit here and read all the books you want, but everybody's journey is different.
Are you reading the books?
No. Nah.
We're gonna do it live.
Yeah, I do read. I have started reading, but as far as reading books about parenting, I'm just excited to just. I think as we get closer, maybe I'll look at a few things. And Sailor has me on this app with her that kind of updates you and gives you tips and all that type of stuff. But yeah, like I said, I feel like everybody's journey is different. So I would say that's probably the best advice I get is it's the biggest blessing ever. So just take it all in.
We're so excited for you and Sailor. I can't wait to
Thank
meet her.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she'll be around here a lot probably.
I love it. Thanks, Khalil. Appreciate the time.
Of course. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Inside the Charge. We appreciate you listening and following and liking everything. So if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for next week's episode.